another Critical Mass Professional Practice Series episode. I'm your host, Shunda Jenkins, and in today's episode, we introduce the concept of the feminine rising through the lens of practitioners who are witnessing a shift from dominant space hierarchy models of power to a more relational, balanced ways of leading and working with clients. As many people move away from the rigid systems and move into more personal, embodied approaches to healing and growth, practitioners are being called to evolve how they hold space, guide others, and define leadership within their work. This conversation explores how feminine principles such as emotional intelligence, intuition, collaboration, and care for the whole are becoming more central in professional practice. It invites practitioners to reflect on how these shifts are always showing up in their work and what it means to move toward more balanced, sustainable ways of supporting others. Across many areas of life, we're witnessing a shift in how power is understood and expressed. System rooted in hierarchy, control, and dominance are being questioned. In their place, something more relational and balanced is beginning to emerge. For practitioners, this shift is not just theoretical. It directly impacts how we work with clients, how we hold space, and how we understand our role. This conversation invites reflection rather than conclusion. We're exploring how this shift is showing up in real practice, how it's impacting those we serve, and how we as practitioners can begin to integrate these changes in a more grounded and responsible way. The goal isn't perfection, it's awareness and intentional revelation. Joining me in this conversation is Tamela Lyons-Price, also known as the Holistic Weaver. Tamela Lyons-Price is a nervous system regulation and somatic mind-body coach devoted to guiding women back to themselves. Through her work, she supports women in gently releasing survival patterns, softening out of overfunctioning, and cultivating deep self-trust and inner safety. Rooted in her own healing journey, Tamila's approach blends compassion with embodiment, helping women reconnect to their bodies and rediscover their authentic voice. She is the author of The Good Girl Unlearning, Let Her Rest, and the creator of Unlearning the Good Girl Coaching, a transformative space where women unlearn conditioning and return to their truth. She is also the creator of Breath and Jam, a soulful fusion of breathwork, movement, and music designed to awaken the body, regulate the nervous system, and bring joy back into healing. Through somatics, breathwork, meditation, and sacred embodiment practices, Tamila weaves together experiences that support women in healing, rising, and remembering who they truly are. So, welcome to today's episode. How are you today? I'm so excited to have you join me in this conversation.
I'm super excited because I've really wanted to, ever since I met you, I've wanted to like be able to talk with you one on one. And so
What?
I feel that this experience is like, I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
And I've already enjoyed getting to talk to you a little bit before, but like this is really, it's really cool. I've been waiting for this moment. So thank you for having me on.
You're welcome. Honestly, I've had the best experience before we started this recording, and I also had the pleasure of being able to experience one of her meditations. So I'm excited for this episode. There's something that we're going to do at the end, and that's another thing we're not going to share right now, but it's some little treat at the end of this episode. So please make sure you watch into the end. One of the things that I'm also excited about is your book. Can you share with us about your book? Like that's first of all, writing a book, it takes a lot of work, and so pat yourself on the back for that. But also like share with us a little bit about your book and kind of like what made you write it and just what it's about.
Well, the good girl unlearning let her rest. Well, one thing is, It was from watching the women in my life do everything. So it was either my mom, my grandma, my aunts, or even friends' moms, you know, older women that I watched them do everything. So over give, over work, over care, over all the things. And then at the end of the day, when they're exhausted, they're collapsing. They're not taking time out of their day for them. And so I watched that growing up. And I've always been the one that always like had to question everything. I always questioned everything. Oh, I want to, well, why? Why does it have to be like, why does it have to be that way? Why do we always have to, why is there this stipulation of what is beautiful? Why
Mm-hmm.
is there this stipulation on what is smart? Like everybody can be their own person, right? But I come from a background of meditation, breath work, yoga, meta, and it really opened up this space within me. And when I started loving myself and started actually saying I felt safe,
Mm-hmm.
like I find myself now where I can be like, oh, that doesn't feel safe. But it was just really, I felt so good and safe in my body. And I'm like, if this is the way that I feel, I wonder if other people feel. So that's how the practice and everything started. But with the Good Girl Unlearning, it's actually the fifth pillar in my holistic Weaver method. And I did a master class called Polarity and Power. And I said to the ladies that were there, I said, oh, pillar 5, this is my favorite pillar, the Good Girl Unlearning. And it took me a while to write the Holistic Weaver method. I started my business almost 6 years ago, and I just like it's been little things that I've learned because we go through our own healing. And so, long story short, it was going through my own experience, watching my clients, talking to friends, talking to cousins, all the things. And that's what this book is. This book is for like all the women, for all the women whose good girl was doing all the work, was doing it to stay safe because they're trapped in survival mode.
Mm-hmm.
And it can be from what societal expectations, the family expectations. And as we look back, like even for yourself, if you can think back, look back to the way that like your mom or your aunties or your grandma or your friend's mom, that they were the one that was always exhausted because
Yeah.
their nervous system was like that main nervous system that everybody came to. Everybody's nervous system is attached to this person with this good nervous system. And it's only because like you feel safe but don't feel safe. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
the overworking. You're doing all of these things, and at the end of the day, you continue to just collapse.
Yeah.
Women, they need safety. They need to feel safe in their body to be able to say no.
Mm-hmm.
Just a simple boundary. I remember if somebody asked me to go somewhere, I would just go, even if I didn't want to. I like, oh my gosh, oh, I'm so happy that I just feel comfortable to say no now. But like, I would go to all these different things, and I just wanted to be at home with a book or, studying history. And I'm a big history buff. So just really like doing something that was fun for me.
Yeah.
So the book came, Pillar 5. All the women loved it, just like me. And I was like, yay. But then a few of the women said, so do you have more? I'm like, well, what do you mean, do I have more? I'm like, do you have more? And so more came like about 3.5 to 4 weeks that I sat with the good girl and learning. I wrote out more things about the good girl and da 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 da. Then research, going back to reading, stuff about the nervous system that I learned in training and coaching, in my own stuff, and even the wisdom of other, practitioners and stuff. And it took me like a month to write it, to write the full thing, to write it all out and put my heart on paper. So like I'm really in love with it.
Yeah. Wow. I love that you dedicated to all the women, that let their good girl like run the show, right? And in the
Hmm.
point when we were overworking ourselves, like
Yeah.
mom showing up to all the things at school, helping with the homework, working.
Mm.
And I love the fact that you dedicated that to the feminine energy.
I don't think that society wise, look how long it took it for women to be able to vote. And
Yeah.
then going through a thing of, our autonomy when it comes to our body
Yeah.
is in question and in some forms taken away depending on what state you live
Yeah.
in. And I think that women have been placed against each other in society because it's like that's your competition. You're not skinny enough, you're not pretty enough, you sound like this, your skin is too dark, your skin is too white, your hair is red, you have locks. You know what I mean? Like all of these different things, like we're told that other women are bad. And in some cases, like we've shown it, you know, in gossip, like in, being like, oh, I wish that was me. No, like be happy for them and excited for them. And that sympathetic joy and unwavering excitement for somebody else's good fortune as if it was mine.
Yeah.
Be excited for them because they can do it, you can do it. And good fortune for them in turn through seeing that someone's done good, not idolizing them like people do with celebrities and stuff, but
Yeah.
seeing the good and feeling good for them. My only competition is me. And that's
Yeah.
because I don't want to be better than anyone else. Like, I think everyone is successful and should be successful in their own right.
Yeah.
Like, people being in competition. So that's what it is with a lot of women. It's competition, you
Yeah.
know? And when I stepped into that space of really, like, I worked super hard on that to make sure that if I felt myself feel that way, one, ask myself, why do I feel this jealousy or envy or something like that? Why am I feeling this in my heart? First off,
Yeah.
why am I feeling this? What about this person? Now, it could be something stupid like, oh, I just love the way their locks are. They're down to the ground or something. You know what I mean? Like something stupid, but uh, really just correcting myself. And I think that it brings women together when women can hold themselves accountable first.
Yeah.
When they can see the worthiness and deserving within themselves first.
Exactly.
Who told you that you weren't important?
Hmm.
And or what did you observe as a child that, showed you that women aren't important? You know what I mean? What did you see? And so I try to do these groups and women's circles and things like that to bring women together
Yeah.
because I feel that a woman that is supported by a community of women, I feel they become more successful.
Hmm.
They hold themselves more accountable.
Hmm.
And you don't have these things of, because like I'm a fluffy Kundalini yoga instructor. And like that was one of my reasons why I didn't tell people that I was because the judgment,
Yeah.
especially coming from women that can wear tight, tight clothes and not like suffocate or something. You know what I mean? But yeah, that I don't know. It just, I feel all these things when
Yeah,
I talk about my book. Like I do. It's crazy.
yeah. I feel like your book and kind of we're removing in the consciousness, the global consciousness is that we're shifting to the feminine rising. So going from the yang type of, lifestyle to more of a yin, bringing us back to a state of stillness and balance. And I think, you know, overworking, that model doesn't work, right? Even gender roles, like those don't even work no more as we continue to shift and the paradigm shifts. It's gonna have to happen, right? And there's gonna probably be some resistance, but I do see that as we continue to evolve this consciousness, that it is moving to a more of a yin type of lifestyle.
I highly agree. That matriarchy is that circle. You know what I mean? Jimi
Yeah,
Hendrix said, when the power of love overcomes the love of power, this world will truly know peace.
yeah,
And I think that yin energy, that femme rising energy
yeah,
is pure love. It's a vibration of love.
exactly.
And you know what I mean? Like, I love it. I think that it's, I really believe that it is going to be hard because there are going to be some, energies that are going to be like, no, 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 no. But I had a friend that posted a video on social media and he is very supportive of women. And he said, to the fellas, he said, fellas, I'm speaking up for the ladies. And he goes, if they're not in the mood, they're not in the mood.
Hmm.
And I was like, wow. And I remember one of the things that I had talked about in the power and polarity class, that when a woman doesn't feel safe, she shuts down.
Mm.
And I talk about that in the book. If your woman isn't in a space of wanting to be intimate, that's a sign that she's shutting down. If she's hyper, quote unquote, masculine, that's a sign that she's shutting down. She does not feel safe in her body, her environment, or something that's causing her to do those behaviors. So I think that when a woman heals, a man heals.
Yeah,
And I think it betters the relationship because she begins to pour from a full cup, and so it gives that softness.
yeah. No, I definitely resonate with that. Like, because if a woman is, embodying more of the masculine trait, she's probably thinking like, why do I even need you? Not in a negative way, but like it's like if I'm doing everything, like I really don't want to have anything to do with you on an unconscious level, right? That's what she's
Yeah.
thinking. Um, and it's been communicating through me withdrawing, right? Me saying no, not tonight. I'm not in the mood, or she's being more, aggressive as far as like taking on, taking control, not in a
Hmm.
negative way, but more like managing everything in the relationship, the household, the finances, everything. And it's like, you know, this is too much, right? I don't want to be the only one in this relationship, in this household, running it, because if I am, I might as well just be alone, right? I might as well be my own
Yes.
man, right? I'm my own
Yeah.
partner, right?
Hmm.
So I can understand that, and I resonate with understanding why that would happen in
Hmm.
situations like that.
It
And I
really.
know, go ahead, what you were saying.
Oh, no, no. I was just saying it really does. It made me, like, you made me to go deeper in myself. I was like, ooh, yes, 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 yeah.
And as we think about like as practitioners, right? As we are thinking about the shift and we're working with clients, um, understanding that we have to shift the way we're showing up as leaders, right, in this space and how we are working with our clients so that we're not coming from this more masculine energy and they need to have a little softness, especially with something as um intimate as what we do as practitioners.
You know, we give them no matter what gender or whatnot, identity of
Yeah.
the client that we have, you know.
Mhm.
Um, I really do believe and feel that we are building a relationship. You know what I mean? This is
Yeah.
not yes, I am the facilitator. Yes, I am the coach or whatnot. But at the same time, your client is human. And so they're going to need that interaction of ebb and flow, the give and receive. They're going to need that. And that's an intimate thing,
Yeah.
you know? So that safety is truly like important. I think that sometimes, you know, clients can confuse the feeling better as like this power and they get a little, you know, versus like, you know, I think leadership comes from a place of safety. You
Yeah.
can speak without being demanding.
Mm.
You can speak without being bossy. And I think that sometimes it gets, messed with when you start to feel better because you feel like this power. Like I know I felt like I was Shira, you know what I mean?
What are some things that you are noticing in like in your field that has reflected a shift in how people understand power or leadership?
Well, I had a student
Mhm.
that also was a client, and as they were feeling better, they were in that space of, because they felt better, they wanted to do everything under the sun. So like all spiritual practices under the sun, which, you know what I mean, like, hey, I get it, but sometimes, you know I think this is where it's important, us as practitioners, to be able to remember and understand and take yourself back to that. Because you were saying um, I can't remember the exact wording, but not guiding from a place of love versus a place of like, I know because I'm heavy masculine.
Yeah.
Well, you know, with this client in particular, they got that heavy masculine energy because I feel better. I haven't really dug deep into the part of why do I feel better with the safety and everything. And I believe they had a dark night of the soul,
Mm.
the spiritual like psychosis. And I think that is because of the continuous taking on all these different practices, because yes, spirituality is yours and your experience and everything. Yet there are some practices with energy going from West or Eastern to Far Eastern practices.
Mhm.
And, they had to get medical help.
Okay.
And afterwards, when I talked to her about it, I was like, this is why I was recommending that you did not do some. And she goes, well, there were some things that I didn't tell you that I was going to do. And I wish I told her, I said, I really wish when I was asking and we talked about this that you told me. She's like, I wasn't in a space of that I wanted to slow down.
Mm.
Well, now she has slowed down a lot, and she realized, we had the conversation. She was like, I felt so good. There was more that I needed to know, though, about the feeling safe and feeling good and taking
Mhm.
your time, And so I think that when you go to that space of like, when people do feel better, they do feel stronger, right? But sometimes when people get a little bit, I don't feel it as this egoic. I think that they just get the lollipop head kind of because, they feel better and they think they can take on everything. And the masculine comes through. That's your action. You're doing it and everything. And they end up, of course, getting exhausted, burning out, all these different things.
Hmm.
But, you know, like, I think that it's just like leadership seems so far away at that point in time.
Yeah. Just recognizing your energy and like how you showing up so that you're not exhausting it. Just because you feel like you can like go climb the mountain don't mean you need to go climb the mountain today, right? And some of the things that you said was like, they were feeling better, but they were and I'm paraphrasing, like they were not understanding why they were feeling better.
Mhm.
And they were probably feeling better because they were doing the work, whatever the exercises, and understanding that when you start to feel better, you still want to incorporate these type of practices because they're going to help you as you continue to navigate your journey.
Mhm. And I think that was one of the things that Shuna talked about. She was like, wow. She was like, there were some things that she had stopped doing practice wise. You know what I mean? Like, I talk to people heavily about even if it's for only 3 to 5 minutes, give yourself that time just to you. No TV, no phone, no sound. If you can, even if you have to, go in the bathroom, like go in the bathroom and maybe just do droplets of water or something. But take at the least 3 minutes to yourself.
Yeah.
People are so in this space of like, time, 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 time. I don't have enough time. I don't have enough time. I don't have enough time. We made up time.
Hmm.
Time is something that we made up. And yes, when it comes to trains, I can see important things of why. But like, and even that, you know what I mean? Again, these people, we make things up. And then now everybody's following that rule. And because everybody's following that rule, society says, if you don't do it this way. So then people build fear and all these different things are built. I'm
Yeah.
like, dude, you know, like give yourself 3 minutes, 3 minutes, and just sit in silence. Go in the bathroom, go on your balcony, go on your backyard or whatever. Go somewhere and get silent and get real with yourself.
Yeah.
People are like, well, my thoughts are running. Well, in Eastern culture, your mind is a part of your nervous system or of your senses.
Yeah.
It's a part of your senses. So, of course, your mind's gonna be like, hey, you have to do this. By the way, you have to do this. You have to do this. Just acknowledge it.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I do have to go do this, but right now I'm taking care of me. And it takes a long time. It does. It takes commitment. It's not going to work after 3 days. If it does, like, give me your secret. Like if it does work where you've just like, oh, I hear nothing. I'm good. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if it does, like, that's cool. Like, my mind's always like, hey, what are you doing? Wouldn't it be cool if we, you know, I'm like, I'm taking care of myself. I don't care about, like, I don't care about that. I'm like, I'm taking care of me now. But yeah, nah, dude, like, just take 3 minutes. But
Yeah.
nobody wants to take time. So, well, more people are taking time because in that moment, I don't know, like, do you remember the first time that you didn't just try to change yourself, you didn't try to fix yourself or anything in a meditation?
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely took a while to get to that point, and now I can literally just drop in for a couple minutes. But before, it was like I'll feel something and I move and I just feel like now I open my eyes, look at the time, and it's like the more you do it, it's like you can drop in. Like I don't need an hour meditation at work. But do I want to do an hour meditation? Yes, I can do one, but I'm not like worried about what time it is, listening to my background, like trying to figure out when this meditation is going to be over with. Now it's like, oh, I did an hour and it felt like 10 minutes. Like, so yeah, I understand people are going to always complain that they don't have enough time, right? Um, but when it comes to taking care of yourself, and especially as practitioners, when we taking care of ourselves, we have the energy that we need to show up for our clients, to show up for, the people that we live with, right? Or if you work somewhere at a practice, and to show up there in the conversations with your colleagues that you share space with. Um, if you don't prioritize you, and I like to do it in the morning, like at the beginning of my day and at the end of my day, it's like, you're going to be showing up in the wrong type of energy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And for me, it just ruins my energy. Like I'm more snappy. I'm more like, I don't know, I feel a little bit more aggressive. It just messes with my energy. And I'm gonna laugh, but I back test. I test everything with myself to see how I feel, and then I don't do it and see how I feel.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have found that I do need those times in the morning. You have to just determine like what that looks like for you,
Yep.
when you're showing up for
I
yourself.
agree with you on that. Like for me, I was like, there's this picture, this meme. It's a man dressed in Buddhist garment, and it says, "When I missed my morning meditation," and he's flipping the person off. And my neighbor goes, "Tammy, that's you." And I thought about it. I was like, dude, that is me. If I miss my morning meditation, like you get on a vibe. I have a playlist that's a 21 days of meditation playlist that I created. And oh my goodness, it's 21 days. All it is 3 weeks. And they're 5 minutes each. All you got to do is listen to it for 21 days. It will change your life. And I totally, for 3 days, I challenge 3 days for the people that are listening. I challenge you, take 3 days, 3 days, 3 minutes every single day when you first wake up. Don't pick up your phone. Don't anything. Just take those 3 minutes. If you have to go to the bathroom and stay in there for 3 minutes. And just like, I challenge you, do it for, you know what? I'll say this, do it for 7 days and comment your in the comments. And then 7 days later, come back and talk about your experience. It's going to change your life, because I remember the first time that it was just like all of a sudden it was quiet. And it was like I was having a communion with myself,
Yeah.
you know? And I'm telling you, do you remember your first time? It was just like when you first got to that space of where you can just drop in and you're just like, wow.
Yeah. Yeah. I've been doing it for a while, so I'm not gonna say I remember the exact time, but just that feeling of, because I used to think like I was gonna always have the voices in my head and just keep going and going and going. And it was just one day where it was like, oh, like I can literally stop right now and not have anything going. And so I just thought, like, and here's the thing, if the voices never go away, it's like, it's okay. The more you get, continue to do this, you become more in control and like a
Mm-hmm.
more, okay, all right, I hear you. I love you. It's okay. So it doesn't become where it's so distractive to you as you're sitting in those meditations. But I can honestly say I can drop in and and not hear anything. And it's just, I don't know, like I'll be in deep thought or I'll be in deep writing and nothing's happening, like in the head, like crazy going
Yeah,
off,
like
and
it's
like,
just
did you do
silence.
that or whatever? But it's like I'm in a deep meditative state, and but yeah, definitely meditation is definitely gonna help you when it comes to your nervous system, when it comes to just getting out of that masculine energy and moving to more of a softer feminine
Mhm.
energy to relax yourself.
And I think that, with that client in particular, she had told me she didn't any of it.
Mm,
She had stopped doing the things, and I try to like I don't try, I do. I tell my clients that these are things that are important because the
mhm.
relationship that you have with yourself is truly important. I when I think about the feminine rising being in the yin, I think about the frequency of love
Yeah.
because I truly believe women are the frequency of love. Mother Earth is the frequency of love.
Hmm.
And I think it brings, you see it's so different. You see the leadership versus the one person trying to be in power.
Yeah. And I feel like for shifting, from that traditional way of practice, what do you think are some ways that you have shift from that traditional way of being a practitioner in your space, or even a coach, right? What doesn't feel aligned anymore for you?
The doing the like, I know that people aren't really, they don't do the work for their clients, but at the
Hmm.
same time, like, you're doing the work for your clients. We are guides. Most of us have been through like just different things, you know what I mean? Different life things, because life, life lives, right? And instead of treating that life experience that you had as something that was such a terrible thing, really was it? What lesson did you learn?
Yeah.
So we let our clients, we are guides and we give them the tools, and then it's a relationship. So we co create together, and you'll see a strong, deep transformation in the women.
Yeah.
Even though that client had that experience, you know, she she did come out of it stronger, and she realized, and there was a ton of accountability, and she was like, wow,
Mm.
I didn't listen. I was disconnected. And she was like, I just wanted to keep doing this, and this, and this, and this.
Mm.
And, now she is. And like meditation's not always the best for everyone.
Hmm.
Sitting with yourself. This is why I recommend, like, to people, go to therapy. Go to therapy. We're not therapists. We're coaches. We're holistic practitioners, shamans, different things. But sometimes our clients need a team.
Yeah.
And I feel like a behavior that I don't like is how coaches sometimes come to this space where they feel they're the end all be all.
Yeah.
You need a team. I have, like, if there's any practitioner out there that wants like a letter for the medical team, like whatever, like I've got you. Like, you can get my email or something and I'll email it to you, because these are things that are important.
Yeah.
Most of my clients I that have therapists, their therapists know about me. Their therapists know about what I do because I email them the letter because I asked the client, can I email this letter to your practitioner? Yes.
Mm.
I follow HIPAA. So, like, and that was a choice, but, other than I just don't say anything. No, but I completely follow HIPAA. So I do get permission from client and everything.
Yeah.
because like their therapist may want to know what they're working on. And if the client says, hey, you can talk to my therapist openly about me, hey, okay, therapist calls, what's password, and like talk to them.
Yeah.
They ask questions. Being the high all and the end all be all coach, you know, let your clients do the work and not give them the what is the word, like where they just kind of sit there. We're not talk therapy, we're action.
Exactly. No, I mean, I think, yeah, clients need a team and, moving them from like just, I mean, telling them what to do, but also guiding them on their path, course correcting if we need to, right? Let's talk
Yes.
about it, right? So I truly do believe, like, I don't believe I have all the answers, like, because that's a huge responsibility, right?
Yeah.
But I would advise my clients to, seek out other ways of other methods, other tools that could be helpful for them. And I think that's also, you know, a more feminine way of doing things because we're not talking about competition. We're like, there's plenty of people to go around. If you want to go over there, if you want to go over there, I'm here to help you in this area, right? Is really allowing your clients to see that, okay, I'm here to support you regardless. And I'm going to support you in this area. But also, I advise you to kind of seek other ways and methods that I know that's not in my scope, in my form of practice. So, really just not feeling like you need to hold on to this client because you could be hindering them from their
Yes.
healing by feeling like I have all the answers, right? I'm the all be all, right? I'm not.
Mhm. Right? I'm the same way. I am not. Please don't die. Like you can please see others as well. I have a 3-month minimal, like maximum. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like if a client says that they want to go another 3 months, I'll do it. But most of the time it's 3 months.
yeah,
Like we see each other once a week for an hour and a half. And not only healthy self-love habits. So
yeah,
it's like I I'll be open. Like I'm just gonna be real. Like I love fem work. I
yeah.
love yin work. All of it. I love yin. I love working with all women, two-spirited women. I just like I'm like we're women. It doesn't matter if biological or not. We're women and we're soft and we're kind and we're loving, but we're strong if we need to be. I'm
Exactly.
like, okay, I'm gonna get off my soapbox. Like, I really like I love the work we get to do.
Yeah.
I, yes.
So I know you love feminine energy, right? So what are some feminine principles that you consciously integrate into your work? Because I mean, when I was reading through your bio, I was like, this speaks feminine embodiment, right? So what are some principles that you have consciously like integrated into your work?
Oh, this is my number one, and I even said this in my my polarity and power masterclass. I
Yeah.
now stand on business. I said what I said, and I know you heard what the fuck it said. And that now you're just messing with me. You know what I mean? So like I was the person that over explained everything.
Mm,
I did it so much that it spilled into my business. So for like 4 years, people knew what I did, but they didn't really know what I did. You know what I mean? And then finally I got to a point where now like, okay, this is what I do, da da da. And then I'm starting building a nonprofit, but then I realized that it poured into the nonprofit a bit because we still there's moments in our life we have to go back and be like, ah shucks. Go back and like not relive it, but rework it. Take yourself back to the first time that you did it. Take yourself back to the first time that you did this thing, whatever it is. And especially when it's that repetitive thing that keeps happening. What did you do the first time? What did you do the second time? Okay, now you're at this point. This is a third time. This is obviously something that really needs to be worked. It needed to be worked the second time. So, second time, shame on you. Like, third time, there should not be a third fucking time. It's like, but for some of us, we're tough learn. Oh, it takes us a while to learn it. But like really where we're sitting back and now I stand on business with what I said.
Yeah.
Because if I don't, I can have boundaries, but if I don't follow them, so how are you going to know like what boundaries? You know what I mean? Like one of my boundaries that I had, but I was not following is that people didn't hear me. I had to over explain, or maybe I was looked over because I over explained. That was always my biggest challenge. So I told myself, you said what you said. They heard you. Maybe they're testing you. Maybe they, quote unquote, didn't hear you. But I'm holding myself to the boundary of if I do not have to over explain to be seen. I do not have to over explain to be heard. I do not have to over explain to be valued. So that's my strongest one. But my second thing is I actually, before I never understood mirror work, but now I do. So like I'll stand in the mirror because my challenge was with my fear of success. Was part of it was being seen. So like I said, I'm like I got thighs, I got all the goodies, and but I was like I didn't fit society. What society said was beautiful. So I had to really start. So like I stand in the mirror when nobody else is awake in my underwear. And I just stand there and look at myself. And sometimes I'll do EFT tapping. So I'll start the chopping. Even though I have a challenge with the way that my body looks, I know that I am healthy. I know that I'm doing well. And I love and appreciate myself. And then taking it to, for me, I like to start at the heart.
Oh.
I am beautiful. I am beautiful because I said so. My beauty does not depend on other people's opinions. My resilience and my wealth, I declare. And going through and just tapping and telling myself all these things as I'm looking at myself in the mirror. And I'm like, okay. This is, I started being more consistent with my self practices, In the beginning, I was very hefty on it. Then I got into, building the business, doing classes, da, da, da. But building the, nonprofit is causing me to like circle back and reflect and take accountability for things and stuff. So like those are my two things.
Yeah.
Those are my constants.
I love EFT. That's actually something that I'll do sometimes. Like, I don't know, it's just so easy. Sometimes I'll be like driving and then if we're at a light, I'll be doing this. I'll be doing like this and doing one side and doing like the parts with just the one finger while I'm driving. I don't know. I mean, sorry, creator of EFT, but like I'll be using it driving.
Same. Like at the light, doing the under the chest.
Yeah. Like I bet she's like, what's going on back there? She's putting on deodorant, right? But no, I mean, having those principles in your business, I like when you were saying just like struggling with being seen, or just like I said what I said, and just understanding, honoring your voice. Like some people could look at that as like, oh, that's being very masculine, but no, it's not. A feminine energy is really standing within, in your power, within yourself, right? Honoring
Mhm.
yourself, respecting yourself, loving yourself. Like these are all qualities that you start to embody. And that's beautiful because in your work now, you are not going to allow yourself to be taken advantage of in your business, right? You're
Mhm.
going to honor your time with your client, right? And you're going to demand that they honor your time, and not because you're telling them like you better honor my time, but it's really the energy that you're showing up in
Mhm.
is that they're respecting you and your time. So I love that you you have those principles. What do you think that some practitioners tend to struggle with, like this shift or integrating some of these feminine principles into their business?
Safety. I truly believe that it's the lack of safety within the body.
Mm,
Because when you do not feel safe, different things happen. So, let's go up the chakras. You have your root chakra. The main thing is like fear of security, not secure,
mhm,
fear of insecurity. So, not enough money, not enough, sitting in lack. So, we'll use that. So you've got that space. Feeling in lack is due to experiencing lack at some point in time, and that lack didn't make you feel safe.
mm,
When it comes to the sacral chakra, you know, you think about like our sexuality, our independence, authenticity, da da da. Something happened that made you feel unsafe, that affected your sexuality, your creativity, these different things. Something affected could be childhood trauma, it could be adult trauma, it could be trauma from any different experience. It can even be self identity trauma,
mm,
or maybe not even trauma, but it's the acceptance of your identity. You cannot feel safe. The solar plexus, that inner strength, the abundance, the heart chakra, which is our connector to the like chakras of spirit. And I just really kind of like take it up. I think that the practitioners that are having this struggle, it's truly the not feeling safe. It's truly the dysregulated nervous system.
mm.
And it's no effing shame at all. No effing shame, because we have all experienced it. We are all human. In one way or another, we've experienced not feeling safe in our bodies.
Mhm. Yeah. And I think it's with the not feeling safe is like also like security, like you said, the different chakras is like, I gotta pay these bills, right? I gotta pay this rent for the place I'm leasing out. And, also you're looking around like, am I doing enough? I need to be doing this. I need to be looking outside of myself instead of actually understanding that we need to look inside of ourselves. That's where the answers reside. And we're trying to keep up with how everyone else is operating their businesses, that we lose sight of how we're running or how to run a business.
I agree with you. I highly agree with you, because we have these like, and this is why I think this is why it's truly important that we as practitioners continue to work on our own healing. It's not that we're unhealed. It's just that I said I'm not healed, I'm healing. You know what I mean? Yes, there's some parts of us that have been healed that we've worked on and worked on continuously and have dedicated our time to heal it. But it's like I am the what is the worst joke? Because I am like I am like the foul mouth healer. So I am like the foul mouth healer because I say what I'm thinking, which this was something that I had challenges with too. A young woman that's on TikTok, she would say, "Oh, if you want breath work, follow Tammy. If you want spicy, follow Tammy." And I was like I was so offended by that. Like I was so offended because and this goes even deeper. It's like the expectations of blah 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 blah. But I promise I have a final for that one. But when she said that, I was like, oh my gosh, that's not who I am. Da da da. Like I am the sweet, kind, and it's not that I'm not friendly. It's not that I'm not kind.
Yeah.
I am spicy to a point of, and it's all being said out of love. And this is when a friend told me, she said, "You're saying it out of love. You're not saying it to be a jerk." She's
Yeah.
like, "It's just that you're like blunt." And she's like, "You just speak very bluntly, directly." And she goes, "But it's really not mean because you're smiling." She's like, I don't even know how to explain it. But when it came, like, where was I going with this part? But yes, where was I going with that?
I think we were talking about like how our practitioners like kind of
Oh
struggle with
yes,
this
yes,
shift.
yes, yes.
It's all right.
Struggling with the shift. So um I damn it. I don't remember. That means that I'm not supposed to talk about it. Whatever.
There we go. It is okay. So, I mean, as we as we get to the final questions in this episode, and I know we're gonna share a little special treat. Um, how can practitioners begin to recognize where change is needed in their approach when working with clients?
Ask your client. You
Mm,
guys are working together. You guys are you're helping, you're guiding your client. You're there to guide, assist, show kindness, be real to them, all the different things. So be the guide, be the leader, be the example when and look at the expressions, look at the body language. If you've said something and you kind of see your client's eyes go down, or you see the shoulders like maybe hunch a little bit, or they rise, like that's a sign that they're not feeling safe or they're feeling discomfort. Ask, lend an ear. We're here to help and assist, not make people feel worse. So you can always do different things, to help with that. Look at their body and then ask them, hey, or even not do it to point it out. Hey, what about that makes you feel a certain way? Or does that make you feel a certain way? And then what about it?
yeah.
Or you can just ask them, dude, I see you kind of hunching, or I see your shoulders coming up. Was it something that I said? And most of the time, they'll feel really good because you saw them.
Yeah.
And for most of them, you're probably the first time that they felt seen.
Mhm.
So think back and remember where you were when you started your journey. You know, I truly tell people to think back to that. And some people agree, some people don't agree. At the end of the day, it's really how you feel as a practitioner. I can tell you what's worked and why I've been able to see my clients succeed in their life, and why, like, most of the people that were my clients ended up becoming my friends. They are some of my very best friends. And, of course, that was like developed. So it's somewhere in there. And then, at the end, it's like I say 3 months max. And unless it's something that they really um, but yeah, like, their secrets.
Yeah.
The deep things that nobody fucking talks about. Like the real deep stuff, that deeper connection that we all want. No one talks about it. And they've just talked about it with you. Like, dude, that's a fucking honor, man.
Yeah.
Like, that's a fucking honor. Oh, now I remember. I'm the foul mouth healer. I'm like, wait a minute. Did I just say the F word? Yeah. Yeah, that's what it was. I'm the foul mouth healer. And so,
Yeah.
like, I'm just upfront with people. And like, if you get me as a coach, you get Tamela. That's what you get. You get me. And that's like all the parts of me that I think make me beautiful. I
Yeah.
think all the parts of everyone, all the bruises and the scars, it makes you gorgeous. And it's the continuing to do and continuing the dedication to your own healing.
I agree. I feel like when you said like asking them what they, what they need, it's like we are the experts, right? As practitioners, we think we're the expert. We know what you need, but do we know what they need without asking them what they need? So I love that. I mean, that was truly the definition of embodying feminine energy, feminine, feminine embodiment, leadership, right? This has been really great. I know you wanted to share something with us as we bring it to the end, but is there anything else you wanted to share before you give us a special treat?
Well, what I'm about to share with you guys is a Good Girl Unlearning, Let Her Rest interactive reflection exercise. So I truly believe like you don't have to journal all the time. You do not have to journal a million times a day, like in the morning or at night. Like you don't have to like it. Anyways, I digress. But these prompts are to help you with deconstructing the good girl. With my book, I was surprised when I started getting DMs from men that said they read my book and they completely, how did you, one of the gentlemen, he said, I switched it from the good girl to the good boy. He said, and then I put he instead of she, and he told me all the things. And he goes, how did you know how I felt?
Oh, wow.
I said, well, we both carry the feminine, the mask, the divine feminine, the masculine energy. You know what I mean? We both carry that more. I don't. I have a weird one with the mask, saying the mask, but
Yeah.
carry that energy. You
Yeah.
know, the societal idea of what masculine or what but it was just really it really opened my eyes even more. You know what I mean? So that's why I started the deconstructing the good girl. I have a PDF file that I'm giving. If people would like to see the PDF file of the deconstructing the good girl, um, and it's just really journaling in these and reflecting on how you feel.
Hmm.
And so that's what these are. These are actually going to help you. These are just 4 prompts that are going to help be good for journal prompts. Um, and it's actually part of my workshop that I'm doing. I'm doing a donation workshop for the nonprofit I'm building, which I named after the book, The Good Girl Unlearning Foundation. And it's to help all women and pretty much helping people that want to have the safe space within,
Yeah.
helping people reconnect to themselves, pouring back in their cup, letting that overflow fill the cups of others. Imagine, imagine just from today. Now, the love that you have felt in the conversation, you have now just passed it on to 5 other people. Now, those 5 people have passed it on to 5 other people. And it builds this like ripple effect of love. So, this is going to help people step in and maybe see why. The first one is I learned I had to be? Who did you learn that you had to be? And maybe this may take you to why do you feel that you had to be that person or that way? I stopped myself from. Did you stop yourself from living? Did you stop yourself from marrying the person of your dreams because someone in the family said awful things? I fear people will think I am. For this one, for me, my fear was I feared that people will think that I was too thick to be a yoga instructor. So that's why I never told anyone about, I didn't really tell people about my 200 yoga hour. I didn't tell them about being a Kundalini, you know, yoga instructor, that I teach Kundalini, chair yoga as well. I didn't like talk about those things because I didn't look the part. Then what I actually need rest from is,
Mm.
what do you actually need rest from? There were some times I needed rest from my fucking self because I was the one causing me stress. It's not been anybody else's fault. Gary Vee says the sooner you accept that it is your fault, you will feel
Mm.
better. I heard him say that and I was like, hmm, okay. So I started letting myself, it's my fault. It's my fault. And then I got to a space of like, wow. Like I started looking at different things and I'm like, it is my fault because people are people and expect people to be people. Not all people are assholes. Not all people are racist. Not all people are like all these different things. People are people. Treat the people as, you know, as they are. But don't be upset because of who someone has in their bedroom or, you know, what someone enjoys, what practice they do, or if they're divorced, if they're, oh, geez, you know, like, fuck, man. Just what do you actually need rest from?
Mm.
Sometimes it's your fucking self. And be mad, come at me. Like, but sometimes it is.
Get on your own nerves.
Right? But you guys will, I'll send you guys these prompts so you can have them in the comments, as well as the fundraiser that I'm doing for the nonprofit to actually start it myself without getting a sponsor and stuff like that. So I'm going to send you guys all that info and everything. And if it feels aligned for you, and maybe you're a practitioner that wants to donate your time so you can run one of the free women's circles, or if you're a practitioner that's like, hey, I have yoga mats, because all of the people that the Good Girl in Learning will serve are women and people that don't really have the financial to, you know, go to wellness practices. Because guess what? It's not that, you know, some of the, you know, it's not cheap. It's just like, you know, wellness practices are just as good as going to a doctor. You know what I mean? Like, I truly believe Eastern and Western practices go hand in hand. Sometimes the antibiotic, you need it to work within 2, 3 days. That's why you go to Western medicine. If you're in a space that, you know, some oregano oil and some black seed oil mixture will like knock it out in 3 weeks, okay, do it that way. Otherwise, go to the fucking doctor and get the fucking shit that's gonna knock it out. Like you,
Exactly.
we don't want to play games.
Exactly.
We don't want to play games. So like, don't fucking play games. Like, just really, you know, the thing is all jokes aside, is that it can be expensive. And I believe that financial shouldn't be the reason why someone doesn't get to take the moment to have a holistic practice that can help them. Because
Yeah.
Reiki and yoga and all these things, they're beautiful, but insurance companies don't pay for them. Insurance companies say they don't work. Well, come at me, insurance companies, because I've got a good amount of clients that, yeah, some of them did therapy, some of them didn't. Some of them were actually women that just started recovery. One of the women I worked with is a Yusui Reiki master teacher, and they call her like the Reiki lady in the facility that she works. And I'm like, oh, and she's been clean for what? Now she's been clean like 4 years,
Oh,
5 years. Oh, me, wow, yeah, like 5 years. And tell me it doesn't work. I've been clean for 10. I'll be clean for 11 years on December 15th. Like, no fronts, but, like, I'm at that space of like, I don't want to go back to that life. But yeah,
wow.
it
Thank you.
works. All you have to do is stay dedicated and stop thinking that it's going to happen after like 2 days. No,
Exactly.
you need 21 days, at least 21. And do it for only 3 minutes. It's not going to kill you. It's 3 minutes. Like, you're going to die anyways. Like, we're all going to die. Like, do you want to be the person that at the very end of it, you're like, oh, I wish I did that? Or do you want to be the person that's like, fuck yeah, I kicked life's ass. I had a great time. And even during the hard times,
Yeah.
like, I still had a good time because there was lessons. So,
Yeah.
you know, I'm going to get off my soapbox now.
Thank you so much. I mean, I have enjoyed this conversation. I enjoy the prompts. I actually got those so that I can do them myself. So listeners, make sure you're doing the prompts. But yeah, we have enjoyed having you here in this discussion. Truly an embodiment of feminine energy, the holistic weaver. Um, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So much gratitude. Thank you so much.
And as we close this practice, well, this episode, because it felt like a practice here. So we close this episode because I swear the energy was going. Um, Listeners, I'm gonna close with some more integration questions. Along with the questions that we integrated from the practice we just did a few moments ago. But write these questions down, ponder them, think about them, and really reflect on them. So the first question is, where are you noticing shifts in how you relate to power, leadership, or authority in your work? What aspects of your current practice feel aligned and what feels ready to evolve? What qualities do you naturally embody that may have been undervalued in traditional systems? How can you begin to bring more balance into the way you support and guide others? As you begin to understand this shift, it naturally brings us into deeper questions. How do we actually live and embody these principles in our day to day work? In our next conversation, we'll move beyond awareness and explore what it looks like to practice balanced leadership in real time within our client relationships, our boundaries, and the way we run our businesses. Thank you for tuning in to another professional practice series, and I hope to see you in the next episode.